Lights out, time to run what you brung their way in a puff of smoke, and it's a good start for Sandro Doulis as they head down into turn one. And look at Oleski trying to thread the needle as he did in qualifying, but he's not going to be able to get through. Falzarezzi holds on the second. They're fanning out behind him. Whoa, we've got a car off, and that's Falzarezzi.
Oh, no, Nico.
Into the grass, and that is going to cost him big. Meanwhile, there goes Jensen Randall around him and up into 12th.
We'll see if George Wilkes wants the overtake now. I think he'll get it with DRS, and Sandro, as you mentioned, is not going to want to battle this too much.
And he'll tuck in behind George Wilkes. So George Wilkes to the top spot. Meanwhile, Jesper Lempinen and Max Mulder battling it out for the 8th position. Jensen Randall setting his sight on David Rod for 6th. Still watching the battle up front. Sandro's going to duck out. He's got the DRS. He's going to take the top spot back from George Wilkes heading down to the end of the straightaway. So Sandro back to the top spot. Meanwhile, Jensen Randall is getting around David Rod for the 6th position. And he's going to be bringing Oleski along with him, the Aston Martin in 3rd. And there's the move down the straightaway. Oh, and Oleski almost, oh man, almost gave the chrome horn to Sandro hard on the brakes.
Yeah, I held my breath there watching George Wilkes get the overtake done, coming on a very narrow line into the Senna S. That kind of compromised both Sandro and Alexi's lines too, but all three drivers keeping it respectful and clean here.
Well, Sandro's going to be a sitting duck, and they're going to split Sandro. Oleski to the inside, George Wilkes to the outside, and Oleski's going to try and get the 2-for-1 deal. Down to the inside. Inside's going to become the outside. George Wilkes is going to be able to hold him off, but George Wilkes picks up a 3-second timing penalty, cutting that corner at the Senna S's. Meanwhile, here comes Sandro Doulis. Once again, he's going to have the DRS. He's going to dive to the... No, Friab is going to try and get in there. Ooh, that was close. Making some evasive maneuvers around one another as Borbune takes the 4th position. George Wilkes loses out to Oleski. And look at Sandro. Here comes Sandro with a push. Oh, and there's contact between the Borbune. Oh, and they're side by side, 2 for 2. 2 by 2.
It's like a formation lap with these four in front of Freyab alive. Freyab's going to attempt to pounce on this, all this battling in front of him.
Oh, and a crossover move by Sandro. Somebody's in the grass.
That was George Wilkes. I think a little bit of a bump from Freyab on that uphill right-hander.
And Jensen Randall is becoming a part of this battle. He is up into 6th. Oh, and Wilkes has lost it. And that's the...
Oh, and Freyab in the Haas again coming out of turn 12.
Oh, man, a lot going on. Friabile, Borbune. Meanwhile, this has all helped Jensen Randall go from 6th to 3rd.
And Nico back into P5, so...
Check this out. David Rod, though. David Rod is up into 3rd as he just got around Jensen Randall. So these two have not been able to separate from one another. Meanwhile, Sandro is all over the back of Oleski again for the top spot, heading into the left-hander at the end of the straightaway. Sandro's going to take that spot back.
I imagine Sandro's tires are coming toward the end of their peak performance, so Koivuniemi might have the benefit from here.
Nope, I thought Sandro was going to dive into the pits, but he's staying out.
Looks like Alexi going to get the overtake.
Yes, just barely at the end of the straightaway.
But a very wide entry into the first Senna S.
Oh, and a big wiggle by Sandro, and you're right, his tires are starting to give up. And here comes Sandro. Here comes Jensen Randall. So it's going to be an Aston Martin 1-2 once again. Jensen Randall going around his teammate for the top spot. So last to first in a matter of 11 laps, but Sandro hasn't given up on this fight. He's still running in 3rd. He's brought David Rod with him. And I imagine after 11 laps, them Sauce have got to be screaming.
Yeah, we do not have information on the weather. Of course, the drivers can ask the race engineer.
You know, David Rod's going to set his sights on Sandro as they head down this straightaway. This should be easy pickings for David Rod. Oh, but Sandro is not making it easy. He's going to get pushed wide a little bit, but hangs on to the position.
Koivuniemi might be able to benefit from the battle between these two. Just cannot find a way around him. I know Doulis loves to go low wing as much as possible. So that might be why it's hard to get the overtake done on the start-finish straight, but David Rod able to do it at least.
Right now, David Rod is finding it hard to get around him. He's going to have the DRS slot open. And he's finally going to get to the inside of Oleski. Oleski's going to try the crossover.
Alexi wants to get by these two so much.
Oh,
and now
he's in the grass. Can he hang on to it? Yes, he can. Woo! I thought when he dropped that wheel in the grass, I thought it was going to be all done.
Very long pit exit for David Rod, so he will very much come out behind Nicolo Falzaresi and Koivuniemi. P3 and P4. P3 for Jesper Limpinen. Oh, boy.
Oleski, oh, my gosh.
Jeez. Alexi with one of the bravest overtakes I've seen.
Falzaresi tries to do the same. He's going to get one, but not the other. Woo!
Oh my gosh. I don't know how Koivuniemi did that, but good on him to save a lot of time in his future.
Well, going to try and get to the inside of Borbune. He thought about it, and we've got a caution flag flying in Sector 1. That's a safety car. Is that Dion Stahl?
That's the Ferrari of Dion Stahl. The front wing is completely off. He lost it in the Senna S exit, I believe.
Oh, Sandro is coming into the pits.
Everyone's coming in.
Does David Rod stay out? No, David Rod does not stay out.
Oh,
hold of Sandro.
What a restart for Jensen Randall.
Yeah, it was never going to work. It was never going to work. Meanwhile, Oleski is trying to find a way around the McLaren of Robin Herderstagen. And Robin, I mean, I'm sure he wants to be out of the way, but where do you pick and choose to do that?
It's tough on the
he's
Senna
making
S.
contact with Falzaresi.
Yeah.
Oh, now he cuts across the nose. Oh, no.
I mean, as you say, what can you do coming into the S there? It's hard. But now he's sideways.
Contact and he makes contact with Falzaresi. Oh no! Massive crash. That's Ivan Brito.
Oh
Falzaresi.
My gosh.
George Wilkes, Noel. Oh my goodness! And a 5-second time penalty. Well, that doesn't matter. He's out. And another safety car. Oh my gosh.
Safety car, no overtaking.
And they are back to green flag racing. Control car. Jensen Randall off and running. Good restart by the top three. Sandro staying relatively close. Oleski's right behind him. David Rod caught napping a little bit, but he gains it up under the braking zone. Oh, and that's Borbune. Looks like he's off. Might have gotten a little shove from Nick Van Gelder. And here comes Oleski. He's in the slipstream of Sandro. Woo, Sandro just putting those right side tires on the grass. Meanwhile, Jensen Randall is off to the races. He's 2.8 seconds up. Oleski's trying to find a way around Dion Stahl, or around Sandro Doulis.
Okay. So Alexi gets it done through the S's. And we'll see. I mean, that was, I think, Sandro sending it around, though.
Sandro is so good coming out of the Senna S's. 2 laps to go. The battle for second is on. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot Sandro's going to be able to do about this. Oh, Sandro is good at fading the car. He's not necessarily blocking, but he's kind of blocking. But it's It's a fade that he does very well to get back into the racing line. It's not necessarily an aggressive move. Sandro trying to hang on to everything he's got. Jensen Randall.
Cut to him
Jensen's
briefly.
Come across the line, wins the race again. Final race of the season. Meanwhile, here comes Sandro, and he's going to be able to hold off Oleski at the last moment.